Hello, this is Lonnie with Rolling O Farm. You know, small-scale farmers and homesteaders often ask a lot of their pickup trucks. One of the things that I try to do on this channel is to give some tips on how to do more with less. Today, I want to review a product that I think may help us get a little bit more out of our farm trucks. Come along. Many times it doesn't make sense for small scale or hobby farmers to invest in a heavy duty 3/4 ton or 1 ton pickup truck. They just won't use it that frequently. They may only be hauling hay once a year, may only be taking livestock to the sale a couple times a year, and hopefully very infrequently having to haul the tractor to the repair shop. The rest of the time they're just using their truck as a daily driver and for light chores around the farm. For years, my farm truck was a Toyota Tacoma. And many of my early customers probably remember me delivering goats and sheep slightly overloaded. Most of us who are farmers occasionally ask more of our trucks than we probably should. But you know, even when we're within the recommended limits as far as hauling and towing capacity, many times the suspension just feels inadequate. Whether we're hauling a lime or fertilizer buggy or pallets of feed or hay or whatever it may be, you get a lot of rear end squat. You can feel that weight behind you. You feel that body roll and sway, and it just doesn't handle or feel very safe. So what would really be ideal is if we could take our regular truck and beef it up just a little bit when we need to ask more of it. But to be able to do so without compromising the ride quality when we are using it just as our daily driver. I should have looked into this years ago, but I didn't. I know that there are products out there that are designed to help the performance of a vehicle when you're towing or hauling. In other words, it makes the ride a little safer when doing so. There are heavy-duty leaf springs you can put on your vehicle. There are airbag systems you can put on for rear suspension. And there are also some rubber bumper stops that limit the amount of squat that the vehicle can have. But in reading reviews, it seems like most of these products also tend to compromise the ride quality of the vehicle when it's not heavily loaded. In other words, it makes the suspension very stiff and choppy, and so it's not as comfortable when you're just driving it and you're not hauling a heavy load. There is a product that I found that has been around for a long time, and it seems to have really good customer reviews, and it claims to strengthen and improve your vehicle's rear suspension to handle heavy loads. It is supposed to improve the quality and the comfort and the safety of the vehicle when under load, because it reduces the rear end body squat, and it also provides stability so that you don't feel as much of that body roll of the vehicle or that sway of the vehicle, which that's important to me. That's the main thing that I'm looking for, is something that improves the feel and the stability of the vehicle under load. Even though it stiffens the suspension when loaded, it's not supposed to stiffen the suspension when unloaded. So just when we're using our truck as our daily driver, it's not supposed to make the ride any more harsh. And according to a number of the customer reviews that I read, they felt like the stability and handling and comfort of the vehicle, even unloaded, was improved by installing this. And installation looks pretty simple as well. It's the Road Active Suspension Kit. And basically what it is it's a bolt-on and adjustable helper spring for your truck's rear leaf suspension. It comes in a standard kit and also a heavy-duty kit. I ordered the heavy-duty kit for my F-150. At the time of this recording, if you order it off of their website, it was just right under $570, and I'll try to put a link in the description below. It's adjustable. It can give you a couple of different spring tensions. I think one stiffens the spring by 25%, the other by 50%. I'm looking forward to seeing if it'll improve the stability and the ride quality of my F-150 under load. I am going to take some measurements beforehand. That way we can compare it after it's installed and see if it makes any difference as far as rear end squat. And also we'll do a little test drive after it's installed and see if we can feel any difference as far as ride quality. So installation went well, no problems there. The instructions in the box are good. They also have a number of videos online that you can find. It took me about 1 hour and 15 minutes. I go kind of slow. I'm sure somebody who had better tools and better setup and wasn't trying to film that they could do it a lot faster. But anyway, installation went well. Let's see how it works. All right, I do want to check the measurements after installation and see how much ride height difference we have. All right, so here are the measurements after installing the Road Active suspension kit. It did raise the ride height over the rear axle by 1 inch, which means when my tailgate's down, it raises the edge of the tailgate by 2 inches. But it reduced the rear end squat under load. When I had the roll of hay in the back, which I estimate to weigh about 1,000 pounds, it reduced the rear end squat by 1 inch. And when I hooked up the trailer, the gooseneck trailer, which I estimate to weigh 4,500 pounds empty, it reduced the rear end squat by 1.75 inches, which is pretty significant, and I'm pleased with that. That rear end squat is what makes my headlights shine in everybody's eyes. It also makes the truck feel really unstable, and it's not good for the tires. It's not good. That's not the way the truck was designed to ride. So leveling out that truck and reducing that rear end squat is going to be important, and I'm pretty happy with the difference that the Road Active suspension kit's made on the ride height there. So let's go give it a test drive and see how it does. All right, so I can immediately tell a difference. It feels much more stable. And even the trailer being empty with the stock suspension, I could always feel a little body roll. And you can notice that the rear end squat's not there too. It feels much more stable. It feels much more comfortable and handles a lot better. It feels like I'm pulling a lot lighter trailer than I am. All right, now let's go test it unloaded. All right, taking it out for a ride empty. And I'm going down a pretty bumpy dirt road right now, and I do think I can feel a little difference in it. I feel like maybe it's a little more solid, but it doesn't really seem to be more harsh. And so I'm pretty pleased with that. It does feel, you know, maybe a little stiffer, a little more solid. That's the way I would describe it. But it's definitely not choppy. It's not harsh. It feels good. And so unloaded, I do not think that it made any negative impact on ride quality at all. And so I'd give it a check on that. So here's my analysis of the Road Active suspension kit. The RAS kit is very easy to install, easy to adjust. I do want to say that the RAS kit does not change your vehicle's max towing capacity or max payload capacity. What it does do is it gives a more stable and safer ride when you are heavily loaded. And that's the main thing that I was going for. It reduces that rear end squat. It helps eliminate some of the sway and body roll, and those are very important when you are maxing out your vehicle's capacities on that. So that's really what I was going for. The only negative that I have to say about it is it did raise up my tailgate a couple of inches. I'm only 5'9", and so I really didn't need a taller tailgate to step over. I didn't need to have to lift something another 2 inches. So that's a negative in my opinion, but at the same time, I did order the heavy-duty kit, and I did adjust it to the max spring tension. So I guess I should expect that, and really it's not that big of a deal. The main thing that I wanted is I wanted a more stable feel. I wanted to reduce that rear end squat. I wanted to have a more stable feel when pulling a heavy trailer, and it definitely did that. So I'm very well pleased with that. And I'm also very pleased with the fact that it did not change the way that it feels when empty, unloaded. It's still very comfortable. If anything, maybe it does feel a little bit more planted and stable, but it feels really good. And so I'm very happy about that. That's what I was going for, is something that for my everyday driver doesn't make it harsh and uncomfortable to drive. But when I do need to max it out, it adds some stability, some safety, and levels out my truck so that the driving experience is a lot better. So I was really, really happy with that. It's a simple and relatively inexpensive solution. And if you'd like to check out your RAS kits, what you can do is you can go to their website, activesuspension.com. I will link that in the video description below. I appreciate you watching the video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want more content regarding raising goats and sheep and other small-scale farming tips, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching this video, and as always, happy farming.